Turns out there's a little bit of a controversy within Warzone that has actually been addressed by Raven and may have some changes here coming up in the near future. So today we're going to break down what this is and everything you need to know about it, when to expect these changes, and everything in between. So as we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. If you could change one thing in Warzone, what would it be and why? As well, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's aim for 1,000 likes here on this video. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We're on that road to 500,000 subscribers. Would love to have you guys in the community. And finally, check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage running a holiday sale here, 30% off with code ESPRESSO. So if you guys are interested in any of that, links in the description below. But said, let's jump right into it. So why is Verdansk 84 somewhat controversial? Well, to understand that, we kind of have to see where this all began, and that was with the original modern day Verdansk that we had all throughout the launch of Warzone up until just the Season 3 launch a couple of weeks ago, where we ended up getting introduced to Verdansk 84. Modern day Verdansk was something where visibility was kind of rough, especially within buildings and other locations. There wasn't much illumination in dark corridors and things like that, and so things like the rose skin really became prevalent and overused and potentially abused, where players could absolutely stay out of sight because you couldn't see into those specific areas. So when developing the sort of next year of Warzone here with Verdansk 84, that was something that prompted changes coming to that new map, where by comparison, Verdansk 84 is brighter overall in a general perspective, and it's more so set in a sunset time, so a lot more illumination outside of buildings. But as well, because that was such an issue indoors, there's much more lighting in a lot of different buildings. A lot of corridors have specific lights in them so that you can end up seeing some of those corners, but that doesn't negate the entire problem. There, of course, still is plenty of areas where that is persisting, where it is still relatively hard to see, and that's where a lot of people have started to use NVIDIA filters if you play on PC, but that's an entirely different topic for a different day, perhaps. But the sun is one of the big things that has come into question as of Verdansk 84, because objectively speaking, there was a lot more done to increase the visibility in areas, but the one thing that was kind of overdone was that of that sun. This, if you end up looking at it in a certain perspective, it's entirely blinding. If you have to push up a hill where you're looking anywhere in the east, chances are you're not going to really have great visibility if you have to challenge somebody up above you on a hillside or something like that. And that's where the discussion of changing this has come into effect. Reed Shingledecker, the lead visual effects artist at Raven, now previously at Infinity Ward, ended up asking in a since-deleted tweet if people really thought it was true that the lens flare of the sun was bothering them, that it's that overbearing, stating that I can easily tone it down if needed. Now, this was a huge talking point that instantly blew up. The since deleted tweet had an overwhelming number of yes, please change it, or something similar in nature for the replies, and again, abundance of them. But what's interesting is a few things. Firstly, that tweet was since deleted, and even weirder still, Reed's Twitter was offline for a few days. So not entirely sure what that was all about, but from an outside perspective looking in, talking about changes that can be made like that, it's kind of oddly suspect that it almost seems like he was reprimanded for making such an open and blunt statement. But he then later came back to Twitter and clarified that this was in relation to the lens flare only, stating, "There seems to be some confusion as to what is in my control to adjust. I can only adjust the brightness of the lens flare on the screen. This includes the rays that draw on top of buildings, the screen dirt. I cannot control the haziness, God rays, and actual sun brightness." And then following up later by saying, "Looks like I know what I'm doing on Monday. I'm happy to look and address any VFX concerns. Thanks for the feedback. I don't have the power to change the entire lighting of the map though. Lighting feedback can be sent to @Raven_Software." So ultimately, this is something that seems to be just a framing issue, how it was presented in the initial question, but it also makes more sense if you are understanding of his position and the work that he has done in the past. This is something that in the past, Reed has done things like the visual effects of bullet tracers and things like that. He's done things like the mushroom cloud off in the distance when Warzone Season 3 first launched, with Verdansk 84 making that initial introduction. So when it comes to those global things, that's a little bit more so out of his control, and the more so finer details, that's where he specializes. So that's something that we now have some clarification on that, but it seems like, again, the overwhelming majority is in favor of a lighting change here with this. Myself included, I'd be all for that. And having seen things like Rebirth Island's lighting, I think that's phenomenal. If you keep those interior lightings where it's easier to see, there's still light fixtures on and it's not just reliant on the global lighting, I think that's phenomenal. You end up having a better looking map where that haze does not exist as much, something that makes it easier to spot players as well, while also keeping, again, some of those adjustments that you made so that you didn't have the problems persisting in the original Warzone. But when it comes down to timing, even if this were to happen, what about the timing here for the visual effects that we could see in any lighting regards? Now, personally, I see this going one of two different ways. Firstly, the smaller things that Reed is mentioning here, I think potentially could be changed via playlist update, but if you want something that is going to be a larger change, something that changes the entire map lighting to something like Rebirth Island, that's going to take a lot more in depth and is likely going to require a title update. Reed mentions that on Monday he's going to start working on the adjustments that he can make, which that was timed as of this past Monday, so there's already been a week put in here on this. So naturally that wasn't something that was pushed out immediately. Could it still potentially come before Season 4? Maybe, but when it comes to an overall global lighting adjustment change, that might take a little bit more time. And in that regard, I wouldn't expect anything until maybe Season 4's launch, because those larger items usually do require a title update. We're probably not going to have one until Season 4. And with all the content in the game currently, even if it's not all released until Season 4, of course there are still things in the game files like shop items and things like that that may not have already been pushed out, most notably being the AMP-63, that new pistol, which is likely to come as of this upcoming week for Warzone and Cold War. That content is already in the game and already there. They're not going to be adding more in before Season 4, so likely the next title update is that Season 4 launch update. But that also makes sense because that's when already other confirmed map changes are going to be happening. Things like Nakatomi Plaza, the CIA bunker and military, and the survivor camps, all that were added in for the 80s Action Heroes event, those are limited time locations within Verdansk. As cool as they are, they're not going to be sticking around, and the 80s Action Heroes event, while ending up here as of this upcoming couple of days for the limited time event, the content in-game is still going to persist until roughly the end of Season 3 here, with likely that changeover coming at the Season 4 update. So if there's already going to be changes made here within Warzone, what better time to throw in some other adjustments that are going to be needed as is. So to me, I see the earliest we see these changes happening around that Season 4 marker. So I guess just keep your eyes open here for it, but that's where we're at here with this. An interesting little controversy that was brewing with Raven looking to make some changes. Now, to what extent, that's still up in the air, but time will tell. But hey, before we wrap it up, I want to talk to you guys a bit about my friends over at Gamer Advantage. For the holiday weekend here only, they're running a 30% off deal with code ESPRESSO. All items are discounted on the site, plus with that additional 10% off using my code, you'll bring that up to 30% off. But here's the thing. We've said it before, I wholeheartedly believe in Gamer Advantage and their products. I'm on my phone or PC for at a minimum like 8 hours a day doing work, and blue light has definitely been something that I've felt wear down my eyes over the years. It messes with your sleep patterns, heightens the effect of eye strain and fatigue, and it's just overall not something that's fun. I've used blue light glasses for years now, but honest to God, none of them compare to Gamer Advantage. Their frames are comfortable, durable, prescription compatible, and the best part is their true color tech built in with the lenses, meaning that unlike what just about every blue light glass company on the market does, they don't have any yellow tint or hue to them, which is used to just often cancel out blue light. But in doing so with that other glasses, it just looks disgusting. You don't get that with Gamer Advantage lenses. What you see before putting them on is what you see with them on. It's honestly phenomenal. They've helped my workflow a ton. Plus, if you want to go a step further, their eye candy multivitamin specifically is designed to improve vision health and is available and is amazing as well. Highly recommend checking them out if you guys are at all interested in your vision. And if you want to pick anything up, remember code ESPRESSO is 30% off for this weekend only. But anyways, that's where we're at here with this. I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. How do you guys feel about the vision right now within Warzone? Do you guys think the lighting needs adjusted? Maybe not so much. Is there anything else you'd like to see changed within Warzone? Feel free to let me know your thoughts, but hopefully enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below, and of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so it's a single thing running all things Warzone, Cold War, and anything COD related. We'll keep you up to date with absolutely all of it. So if you guys want to stay up to date with anything, hit that subscribe button. If you also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, there's the best places to get connected on YouTube, practically on both those. So if you guys want to start up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. My name has been ESPRESSO. I'll see you guys later. Take care, and peace.